Well, Samson, thank you for the opportunity. I believe you've made a point already. It's just a matter of reiterating what has already been put out there. So first of all, as we all know, we are doing some judicial reforms, and as part of the reform, the regime of custodial sentencing is being done away with. And I hold the view that the main object of the bill, which we all agree, is to ensure that as a country we go on a certain path of our value system and determine our certain cultural rights and say that, look, this is unacceptable to us as a country. I believe that all 275 MPs agree with that. But the question is, how do you deal with it? Is the solution in incarceration? I say no. Something perhaps, if we relate to some of these things, we may get the import of it. Perhaps, I mean, when you and I were growing up, we had fathers who were very, very rigid, very regimental, strict. If you misbehave at home, you expect to be caned. And that is how the fear factor, prevented us from acting in a certain way. But today, again, you and I know that our children, we cannot use the cane to deter them. They will get worse. And I have teenage kids, and I know that joining with them gives me results than taking the cane. So, question. If we go to Nsawam prison today and interview the prison officers on this incident of sodomy and same-sex things or gayism in there, isn't it trite that people get rather exposed to it there more in our prison? And something I know that at Ghana Law School, every year, maybe now they stopped, but in our time, we were there at Nsawam, and I believe you've also been there, when as a part of your studies. The stories were told about the same-sex situation. It gets worse over there. So, if the aim...
Sponsors like Sam George don't deny that fact.
Pardon?
Sponsors of the bill like Sam George don't deny that fact.
Very well, very well. So, if we want to correct a challenge in society, if we want to reform, if we want to rehabilitate, should we throw them into jail? Again, the state of our prison. Some other jurisdictions have prisons, but the prisons that they have there, the conditions of those prisons, the facilities they have, and all, allow for reform. The prisons they have are proper correctional centers. In our prisons, in Ghana, Winneba Prison, Sekendi Takrady Prison, Nsawam Prison, Tamale prisons, can we find facilities there to correct people? So I dare say that those in that situation will be worse off, and society will not benefit. You can take the ultra-conservative approach, say that punish him, deal with him. But I'm saying that as parents, the deal with him approach will not serve our purpose in our various homes today, as prevailed 20, 30 years ago, where your mother will shout and, you'll be shaken, where your mother would yell at you, insult you, and it would create that fear. Today, if you shout on a child, today, if you insult a child, trust me, you are pushing your child into a panic attack situation. You are traumatizing the child because of the environment. It's not the same. So I am taking this very middle position There's one right approach. That, okay, colleagues, we are together in this, protecting our family values, protecting our values as a country. We are saying that same.
Okay.
However, let's do this.
All right.
Now let's go to the second leg of my argument, which you had already put across, the criminal libel issue. You know, you read the provision on promotion, advocacy, and all that. But I don't think I appreciated the metaphor in the submission of my respected colleague when he sought to relate it to money laundering, and that if you are a media house and you promote money laundering, but that's not an issue. In the money laundering, that's a secondary offense. You would have committed a predicate offense of stealing and all that, or getting involved in drugs and all that, and you want to hide the tainted income or money that you've gotten. But this is a right issue, a human right issue, that the person is saying that, no, this is my right, inherent right. This is a right in the Constitution. That you say, no, you cannot do it. It's your right, though, but we want to say that you cannot do it. We cannot allow excesses of behavior, so we are limiting you. If it is the case, then why incarcerate me? Why not create a platform where society can help me to integrate? And I'm saying, which of us here, something you or any bishop, any imam will say that a son, a daughter, a niece, an auntie should be seen being sentenced into prison? No. Okay? So let's be empathetic. Let's look at the way to go to deal with it.
Okay.
But if you say the media house, you know, talking about it, will have to go to prison. The media house, the individual who may be discussing this subject matter or wearing a T-shirt or writing about it because it is deemed to be advocacy in a democracy, that person should be tried. And perhaps if you go and meet a very conservative judge, it says that go to jail, get a maximum sentence.
Right.
Meanwhile, we repealed our law and said that, look, when a journalist, when a media practitioner errs in a situation like this, you can
recourse,
go to the civil court, and then, you know, damages may be available for you, and the court may get you some compensation instead of reporting you to the police.
Unfortunately,
and the police saying that you are being prosecuted.
Unfortunately, Afenyo-Markin, we are still using the fear and alarm law to deal with journalists, and we are still using also the Communications, Act, the provisions there, also to deal with journalists for publishing false information criminally, which we should look at. But my question to you finally will be this: if you can be very brief about that. The question is, we accept that these are our morals, and these things offend our morals. You accept that point to yourself. So you say you are not against the bill. So, like I was trying to make the example, even though in our religious groupings and even our traditional whatever, we hate and we don't like adultery. It's morally reprehensible. We have not legislated against it. If someone has sex with their cousin, for example, it is not caught by any law in Ghana. But because we say we don't want incestuous relations, we have used the law to criminalize incest, for example. So what is wrong? And if you committed if you were caught in an incestuous relationship, you could be going to jail for 25 years. Why are you saying this should be different?
No, but something, what you've forgotten is that ab initio, there were arguments that this law in itself is even needless because we have sufficient provisions in our law books that, prohibit all these acts. You remember that the laws that we inherited, from our colonial masters, frown on this gayism and all, that you are not supposed to do this and that. And yet the respondent said, look, that notwithstanding, we want clarity, let us legislate on it. If those laws exist and criminalize it, and those laws would lead to incarceration, that was for yesterday. Today, if you ask me what my views are, I'll say that for such situations, criminalizing and incarceration will not give us a solution.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yes, incarceration will not be the appropriate thing.
Okay, so I get it. You have clearly explained that. We are run out of time. I'm very sorry about this. Thank you all very much.